Hello there, and we are here for our third filming of the Winner's Circle. As you know, the Winner's Circle is operated and produced by our young people. So we have young people on camera, we have young people producing, we have young people editing for our Elite TV Winner's Circle. So we're so glad that you're here with us, and we're excited about our guests today. Today, we're going to talk about losing in the Winner's Circle. And you are a big figure in our world, so we appreciate every moment that you took to be with us today. I would like for you to start, if you would, just introducing yourself to our Elite TV audience and letting them know kind of why you're here today.
My name is Charles Woodson, and I am excited to be on here to talk with you guys today, just to talk about really, I guess, sports, life, ups and downs, how they intertwine. Sitting there is my godson Amir, who is a young athlete who is just coming up. So a lot of the things that he will be going through in life as a young athlete, all of those things, I've been through all of them. So hopefully there's a little bit of insight to some of that I can shed.
Really appreciate you being there for our young Amir. We've all grown to just love him so much and care very much about his trajectory. So thank you. So I'd like you to describe, when we introduced you to this concept of meeting with us, we were of the belief that we were going to be coming off of a playoff win. And I think it's very easy, to talk about winning and talk about what all that entails. So today, I'd like for you to talk about a time in your athletic career when you won big, but I also want you to talk about a time when you lost. So I'd like you to start with a time when you won big and what that felt like.
There's a lot of those. I've been very fortunate to play on, some good teams. I've been very fortunate to play for a long time. So there's a lot of wins and like you said, there's losses as well. But I would start with probably one of the biggest wins of my life would be winning the Heisman Trophy. Since we're upon that time right now in college football, when there are a couple of young, outstanding athletes who are trying to win that trophy. Well, they're trying to win games, first and foremost, trying to get to the college football playoffs. But a part of that and being an outstanding collegiate football player is the Heisman Trophy. And for me, I played defense. I played a little bit of offense, but I was a defensive player, and they don't give the Heisman Trophy to defensive players. And so for myself, individually, I had to go out and perform each and every week at a high level. And also I had to contribute to a team, and my team had to be good as well, because if those two things don't go hand in hand, it's hard to win that trophy. Not only that, I was going against a player who, before the season had started, Peyton Manning, he was the person who everyone said was going to win the Heisman Trophy. It was his trophy, basically, to win or lose. And so a lot of things for our team had to go right. Of course, it starts with hard work, starts with our team being put together, being a really sound team. Throughout the season, we had to, fight back through some battles in games to ensure victory. And in doing that, a lot of those games, I had to come up with a play here or there that showcased my individual talent. And so when it came time for the ceremony, of course, I felt confident in terms of who I was as a player, my standing in college football, thought I was well deserving of it, but did not think I would win it because of the fact that I was going against Peyton Manning and I played the defensive side of the ball. So that was a huge moment when they called my name from Michigan. Charles Woodson, the 63rd Heisman Trophy winner. So that was a huge win in my life. And so I'll transition over to a big loss since we're talking about games. Amir just lost a playoff game, which is tough. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you think you are deserving to win, you think you put it where you put in all the hard work to win, and you come up a little bit short. In 2002, I believe it was, myself and my Oakland Raiders teams, we made it to the Super Bowl, and had a good team, and just towards the end of the year and in that week, there were some things that went on kind of outside of football that kind of was a distraction for our team. And I don't think that we went into the game really at full strength, team wise or mentally, just because there was a lot of things going on. But we were there. We were in the big game. And if you're in the big game, then of course there's a chance to win it. But we ended up, falling down pretty quickly in that game, points wise, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Made a run late, in the game, but by that time it was too late. Too many plays had mounted up against us, and we fell short in that goal. And it's so hard, to get to that point, to get to the Super Bowl. There's just a lot that goes into a long NFL season, and to get to that point and to lose it, I mean, it knocks you down because if you get to that moment, you got to win it because you never know when you get back. I know that next season, I think we were 5-11. So there's no guarantee that once you get there, you're going to get back. So that was devastating because it was, in terms of fighting through different things. I personally have fought through some injuries that year, and I thought, man, what a way, to cap off a season where, physically I was beat up. A lot of people on the team were beat up. Mentally, maybe we were beat up a little bit. What a way to cap it off by fighting through all that and winning the Super Bowl, but we fell short. So that to me was the hardest defeat because it's the NFL. There's nothing after that. There's not the NFL and then NFL 2. Like that's the NFL, and we got to that game and lost. And so I knew that after that loss, that at some point I had to get back, to win a Super Bowl. And finally I did, of course, with the Green Bay Packers. But that loss right there, we'll never forget that. I have to wear that forever.
So can I ask you a follow-up question to that? What does it sound like in the locker room after a loss like that? I don't know if you can hear me. What does it sound like in the locker room after a loss like that?
Yeah, it's very quiet. I think what you end up doing, each player, the coaches, you end up going over that 60 minutes of that game in your head, trying to figure out what you did wrong, what you could have done better. The only problem is you can't go back. And so, guys will talk amongst each other, but, all of the life is basically, sucked out of the locker room. And you know that you just walked off the field, you saw the confetti come down, you saw the other team celebrating, and there's nothing worse than walking off the field, watching the other team celebrate and setting the stage and getting ready to walk on that stage so that they can accept, that Lombardi trophy. You have to walk back to the locker room, get your stuff ready, head back to your second place party, you know, uh, which is no fun. And then, you're immediately, thinking about, your off season and what you're going to do in the off season, making plans to go and do whatever you're going to do. and then try to focus on the next year. So that locker room is it's very quiet.
So I'm going to piggyback on that, and then I know you have to go. I really want to know, so you've lost or you've won, right? And then there's no season, so there's nothing happening for a while that the viewers see. We don't see what you guys do in the off season. But I'd like you to bring some daylight to what did off season look like for you? What did your preparation look like? What was your schedule like in off season?
I think it differs between different players. Some guys take a little time off, kind of get away from it a little bit, take a vacation, or whatever it is that you do. Um, for me, definitely take a little time off. Go back home. I think at the time of that game, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. So, going back to Atlanta, just being around family, you know, and just really, honestly, you're still reflecting. I mean, it takes, they always say just put it behind you, but it's hard. Like I said, it takes a lot to get there. And so you just do a lot of reflecting. Um, And then, once you take a little time off, and then you start to gradually kind of get back into, just training. Whether it's light weights, whether it's going out and playing basketball. At that time, I used to play a little basketball, going to the gym, just try to get yourself back going. Um, and then, for us, mini camps and those type of things start coming around. So you start getting back around your teammates. Um, and then you're starting to focus mentally on that next season. And so, as the off season goes on, then that training starts to ramp up a little bit. And then now you're kind of really flushing last year out, and then you start feeling optimistic again about the next year and the possibilities of trying to get back. And so that off season is there's like a transition period of flushing that old out and getting ready to try to do it all over again.
My last question for you is really, I'm going to ask you to speak in our presence to Amir. Amir is a 12th grader, and we're really looking at, for all of our 12th graders, what a strong transition looks like. Some of them actually the majority of them want to go on to college, but there are kids that will want to do other things. As you think about what advice you would give Amir kind of as we're onlooking, what do you think about when it comes to his career, what he should be thinking about, his transition to college? Can you give him that advice that you can give to us as we're watching publicly?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, he's got to finish off, his senior year strong. This part of his journey, is the football journey is over. But now, life will begin to come at him pretty fast. Um, but first and foremost, he still has school, so focus on the school. I know that, he'll have, people who are interested in him in terms of colleges, places that he may visit coming up. And in those visits, you got to feel, comfortable, about, where you may end up or where you're going to go. So really, take the time when you're visiting with people, asking questions. If you're visiting the school and you're on campus, really take the time to, walk that campus and just kind of look around and see if there's somewhere where you feel like you may feel comfortable being. I'll keep going back to focusing on the now in the school, finish up your schooling strong, because the schools that you're looking at, they're never going to stop checking up on you and making sure that you're doing what you got to do, especially if you're trying to enter onto their campus, onto their institution. And then the rest of this time, also focus on keeping your body well conditioned for the next level. Because you always want to go in ready and prepared. Um, you know, there's 1,000 kids that are going to be fighting for whatever position you're trying to go in, and that's whether it's a job or it's in the sport. And so you got to be ready to compete, whether it's on the field or off the field, in whatever you do. So just continue to grind. I always tell people there's no substitute for hard work, and whatever that may be. But stay focused and stay positive. Stay positive. I know he's sitting there. He's upset about the game on Friday, but there's a lot of life left to live. A lot of triumph that will come, out of that defeat, because you know what that feels like, and you always, try not to have that feeling again. So continue to focus, work hard, man, and the rest is going to work itself out.
Thank you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to say right now?
No, man, just that Amir, man, I'm proud of you. Your mom makes sure that I see what's going on out there in California, man. And I watched you from afar, while I was here. I was coaching, Charles's team, so we were playing as well on Friday nights. But I watched what you're doing, man, and you're impressive young man. I wanted to tell you too. When you went to that camp last year at Michigan, you were dealing with an injury. And the one thing that I was impressed with was the fact that you didn't allow that to keep you from going out there and competing and trying. And you didn't know what was going on with your knee. You just knew that you wanted to go out there and showcase whatever talent you could showcase to those coaches out there. And that says a lot about you. That says a lot about you going forward, because I know that you'll continue no matter what may be thrown at your way or thrown your way. I know that you'll continue to fight through it any way that you can. So I just wanted to tell you that I was impressed with that, and that'll take you a long way, man. You got to fight through a lot of things in life sometimes, and you have that heart to do it. So I'm proud of you, man, and I know you're gonna go far. You know what I'm saying? Your mom ain't gonna have it no other way. I know that already. So keep your head up, man. Stay focused. All right. And I'm right here with you, man.
Thank you so much.
I just want to talk with is Amir Goss. And Amir has been a student with us since we opened our school. Amir has been with us since the 7th grade, I want to say. Amir is a winner. Amir is a champion. And I thought when I invited Amir and his mom that we were going to be talking about a winning playoff game, because we were on our way big time. Everybody here, everybody in the city believed we were going to win that playoff game. But today we're here following a loss, and it was a hard loss for all of us. So we're really just going to talk through that. I'm just glad he showed up, honestly. I'm glad, Amir, that you are here. Thank you for being here, baby. Because you could have said, you know what, I'm not coming. I don't think so. I'm not in the mood, but you're here. So I'd like for you to introduce yourself to people who don't know a lot about you. Who are you? What grade you're in? What you like athletically? What you've done athletically this year? Tell us all of it.
Hello, my name is Amir Goss. I'm 17 years old, attending elite public schools. I play football, basketball, and I do track at elite. The role in football that I do is I play receiver and I play corner. Football, it's a lot to football. It's not just a sport; it's a lifestyle. So like you really gotta commit to the sport. Like it's a grown man sport. It's not no little kid sport at all. That's it.
You know, it's interesting, Amir, because when I was talking to your mom, and I'm going to come to your mom in a second, if it weren't for your mom and other parents like her, this school wouldn't exist. You know that already. But when I was talking to her about who you were, she told me you were a basketball player, that you loved basketball. I asked her about other sports. I don't remember a conversation about football. So was football new to you, or how did you come to being, as you said, a football player like through and through, with that being a lifestyle? Or maybe I missed a conversation or a memo.
I would say, yeah, I was a basketball player. I really didn't like football until I came to high school, ninth grade year. Um, uh, I just wanted to give it a try. I gave it a try. I wasn't so good at it though at the beginning, but I built it my way up, and I'm here where I am now.
And where you are now is like #1 in special teams for
Yeah.
the league.
#1 special teams,
Punt returns.
punt return. What am I?
You are a go-to
I'm a
wide
lot.
receiver,
I'm a lot.
right?
It's a lot.
Like you are a target for our quarterback.
Yeah.
When he needs somebody to catch the ball, he throws it at you. That's big. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
We're going to come to your mom now. Ms. Johnson, Tasha Johnson, we're so glad you joined us here today. You're also, you've become such an important part of this school. When I needed a cheer coach, you were there because we wanted to have cheerleading for our babies. And now you're working on partnerships and helping us build out our athletic booster program.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit about you? What drew you to us? What is it about Elite, or anything else you want us to know about Tasha Johnson, the phenom here at Elite?
This was a divine appointment. Amir, like you said, Amir came here in 7th grade. His 5th and 6th grade year, I was running around frantically trying to get him into a private school in Oakland. I was prepared to drive him to school every day because I didn't like what we had here. And just about when I was at the end of my rope, I got a phone call from you saying, "Are you still looking for a school? Because I have something for you." And I remember it was just like the sun came out. And I don't know how other parents may have felt about, the vision of Elite. But for me, I felt like, okay, so all of the things described about it seemed like everything that I was willing to pay for and drive to. So now I get to stay home. I get to help build up my community and put my child somewhere where he can get to know himself, because that was the goal. And so 5 years later, this is my product, and I couldn't be more pleased. I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more proud. Attending this school has been like my son being at a HBCU high school. So the groundwork that I wanted him to have as a young man has been set.
Wonderful. When I think about it, I mean, people don't know, but our high school currently has 150 students in it. We were playing schools with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 students and blowing them away. Our high school has now AP, offerings with college prep and all of those things. And so I'm excited that you helped us have that come to fruition. So thank you for all you've done to help us get here. We appreciate that. I'm now thinking about what I heard from Mr. Woodson. That was a wonderful interview, and he's very invested in you. What do you think are the next steps for you when you think about, like, after, we're going to talk about Friday in a minute, but I want to project into the future and come back to Friday. What are you thinking about with regard to college and what's going to happen for you next?
I'm going to go to college after this after I graduate. I'm gonna play sports for sure. I'm gonna try to go play football. If that don't work, I'm gonna try to go play basketball.
Okay.
One of them go work for sure though. For sure, one of them's go work.
Okay.
And then and then I'm gonna go work to get my bachelor's degree.
Excellent. Excellent. Have you decided what you want to major in yet, or are you still thinking about that?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
One of them is business, though.
Excellent.
Nah, that's it.
All right. Mom, what are your next steps? What are you thinking about when it comes to his next steps? Because their next steps are our next steps. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just really excited about what his future holds. He has a very promising future
He
ahead of
does.
him. Staying close to him, making sure that he keeps his head on right, keeps his focus right, that he stays true to himself, and that what he says he wants, that his actions meet his words. So that's really what my next step is, just
Yeah.
making sure that what he says he wants for his future aligns with what he's doing. For me, personally, I'm excited about that too. I mean, I got a kid going to college. I'll be empty nesting. I mean, there's a lot that I can have going on.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting too. So, yeah, the future will be very, very, very nice.
I
both of
agree.
us.
And listen, if you all haven't seen this young man play basketball, you need to follow our live feeds on Elite TV, because I hope we're playing basketball this year for high
Yeah.
school. Okay, because he is amazing, and that three-point shot is like no other that we have. So he's definitely a history maker here at Elite TV and at Elite. Mr. Woodson said a couple things. He talked about winning, right? Like he talked about being a Heisman Trophy winner and a defensive player, which is very difficult to do. But he also talked about losing and losing big. Friday night, we experienced that. And I'll say we all experienced it. I could not move most of the weekend. I know your mom was just kind of trying to keep it together with you two and others. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that loss. It was interesting, Amir, because we've been trying to get the Vallejo Times-Herald to come to all of our games, right? They finally come, and then we lose. And on the front of the Vallejo Times-Herald is you, just in loss mode, right? Like, it's hard. So talk with me about what that felt like. And as we think forward to preparing other kids for those disappointments, what can we do better as the adults that are surrounding the kids to prepare you for both wins, but also for losses?
I don't have an answer for that one.
Yeah.
But Friday night after we lost, I was very emotional. I felt like disappointed in myself. Like I felt like I could have did better. I feel like our team could have did better. Like it was just we was low, then we came high, then it all just went back down to low, and we came up short and we lost first round of playoffs. And I know we could have made it way further. Could have made it to state, honestly, but I feel like we wasn't in that right mode. We didn't have that right mindset to go into playoffs. You feel me? Like everybody, we will all play around in practice. You know, if they say you play around in practice, you go lose a game. You go lose a game. All that. Just yeah, it was very emotional for me, my teammates, for our senior year. Last game of the season was just sad.
Yeah. Tasha, what were your thoughts?
Well, you know, I bleed purple, so I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
You know, we fell out on the floor when he made his touchdown because we thought, okay, we back in this. Like, we got action. We might really win this. So,
Yes.
it was like he said, it was very up and down. Emotions were, they were low and they got high, and it was just like everything got zapped out of you. But I will say, listening to my son talk, because he's been very quiet this weekend, and I opted to leave him alone and kind of let him work through it. Listening to him talk now, I can say that I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Do I wish that they had won? Yes. And they're still playing for the championship? Yes. But listening to my son speak about playing in practice and not taking it serious, this is a testimonial, okay? Because all of this, I call them live training exercises, okay? It's our job to teach them through these processes, right? But if we don't like talk them through it in that moment, we could miss it. So now I can tell you that you are a leader, okay? You are a leader, and you was left feeling like that on Friday because, like you said, y'all was playing in practice. So now as you go into college and you play football, when your teammates show up late or they show up playing or they not focused, you can go back to that game on Friday night that you lost. Hey, y'all pull it together. I don't like losing, okay? You are a leader. You don't let people come to your practice and horse around no more. That was the lesson for you. Get in front of it. Stop playing. We got business to handle. We trying to win a championship. Let's go. That's how you lead your team. But you didn't know that before Friday night. Before Friday night, you thought that you could keep doing it the way you was doing it, and y'all was because y'all kept winning, so it was working for you. You now know that in order to win playoff games and championship games, you have to take that leadership to the next level. So I don't think that you'll let that happen again. You'll wrangle your team next time.
And what I love about what you did also, Amir, and it's kind of how I live my life. Like if something goes wrong, and I consider myself a winner, but if I lose, I look in the mirror. And so the first thing you said was, I could have played better. I'm not sure how that was with some of those catches that I saw you catch, right? Like, I don't know what we expected you to do better, but I love the fact that you are thinking that way. And what happens often, especially among adults, is we like to point fingers at everybody else. Tasha knows this. In organizations, we like to evaluate what everybody else was doing instead of looking in the mirror and saying, what could I have done better? That's what you did. That's very mature.
Very.
Not only that, what I was talking to my husband, and I are sports fanatics, and I said, we love when Steph Curry hits that three-pointer, right, at the buzzer. But if he doesn't hit it, then we get all over his case. There's always going to be a time when we win, we catch it, we lose, we don't catch it. Does that make sense? So I just wanted you to know that we are all very proud of you. I know Mom is more than proud. Your whole family is proud. But I'm proud because I didn't know you before 5 years ago. And I have seen you become the young man that is sitting here today that can talk to me about winning and losing. Good work. What I think I'd like to go next is really just thinking about next steps. And this is kind of where I'm going to close, right? Like thinking about what we've learned as a result of your being here at Elite. I remember, Amir, like it was yesterday, one summer, where you came to me and said, you know what, I'm not coming back to this school. You said, I'm over it, I'm done, I don't like this school, I don't like your teachers, Dr. Bitt, and I'm just over it, I'm done. And I remember calling your mother and saying, Houston, we have a problem, because my baby is trying to leave me and I'm not having it. So talk to us about just your experience here. And then from the mother's perspective, I really want you to talk about what the development that you've seen and how we may or may not have had a role in that.
I'd say when I first got here, I didn't really like it. Like, I felt like I felt like it wasn't like a real school, like real high school experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like throughout the years, as I got older and older, it got better. So like the experience for me was good at elite. There's been ups and downs at elite, a lot of ups and downs, and that's it. That's my experience. Just a lot of ups and downs from elite, but it's good now. I'd rather stay at elite now.
I was gonna ask you, are you glad you stayed? Did I make the
Yeah.
right decision?
I'm glad I stayed.
I was about to cry. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, Tasha, what are we going to do? What do you look forward to with basketball season?
Going to state. We going to state.
Okay.
I'm going to state.
Nobody's going to mess around and practice around you
I'm gonna
anymore,
make
is
sure.
it?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not losing no more.
Very good. Tasha, you're going to close us out and just talk about this young man and the development you've seen that we may or may not have had a part of. And then what's next? What are you looking forward to?
I would say you guys have definitely had a part in his development. This has been our extended family the past 5 years. I've watched Amir grow into a very well-liked young man, a very respectable young man. I can honestly say, as his parent, the only people he gives headaches to are his parents.